morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday, January 2. It's just now 5 o'clock in the morning, and we are going into what has been a pretty slow session overnight, but that's been typical for about a month now. And you should be lowering your expectations on today for being volatile. First day back after the holidays, smoothness, tranquility. Definitely did not have that over in Japan. They got rocked with earthquakes. And we are going in at the moment, which I'll show you in a second, the VIX right at 1339. So start you off here as I tend to do quite often, financialjuice.com. Quite a few of you guys are new. You can only access this via a PC or a laptop. You can't get access on a mobile phone or a tablet, but if you can, it's a free site. You can sign up just to avoid having the pop-up ad come up often. Very good news. Cover everything across the world that's important today. All we have are a couple of auctions, a 6-month and a 3-month at 11:30. Nothing on the table. But what's important over here is over here on the right, you see Tick Strike. Click on that icon there where the speaker is, turn your volume however you want, and you can literally listen to the stock market. So again, not much to go over other than what we've covered already, but we're going to get ready for a week. And I do have a couple of trades that I am looking at. First and foremost, here's our futures. Very flat, very just blasé at the moment. We are down 3 points over on the ES. We're down 27 points on the NASDAQ, and NASDAQ right at that 17,000 level. ES right at that 4808.25, just above it, about 8 points. Russell 2000 right at that critical 2050.80. So for now, all we are doing is looking at a Tuesday where they need to open it, close it, and record it as a session. SPX, that 4763, 4765 area, critical all last week that needed to be tested. We got it on Friday. Then we got our bounce off of that after having filled the weekend gapped. And then we came down and dipped right back to it, bounced right off of it. So this is going to continue to be your zoomed in 0 DTE single leg puts plays level that you want to have respect for if you're going to be getting involved. For me, like I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, where are we over in the spreads? Yeah, right there. 47.78 is the end of the world. And yeah, we spent a little bit of time up above 47.78 last week, but as you saw, 47.78 pretty much emphasized it's the end of the world. Again, another important point is the full moon window has closed. So the low, bring it back 10 days, of 46.98 and the high of 47.93, those are our full moon highs and lows. And until we have one of them broken, we are simply putting as much data as we can to assume what we have. And for me, that is what I've already stressed. That is our top 47.93. We will see how this week goes, which this week, thank you for the info, Red Star. The Red Star line grabbed it for me. And this would be 10 green weeks, which has not happened since 1963. Right? 1963. The last time the S&P had 10 green consecutive weeks in a row. So where we open today, where we close on Friday, that will be where your 10th green week or your failure on that 10th green week happened. So here we are on the S&P, again, 47.63, 47.65, critical levels. We did come down to the 10-day moving average yesterday, which will be moving up fractionally higher today. we are in a pretty tight box. So a 20-25 point range today would not surprise me at all. Come over onto your SPY. SPY, same thing. You got your 476.30. You're open from 2022. Fractionally spent a day above that over there on Thursday, and then boom, you got cratered on Friday. Again, nothing yet until you can get a breakdown below that 472 area, and then zoom it out even more, and you still have that big bottom from way back and a gap to be filled way back from the drop at 468. So a lot of work that needs to be done and a lot of time to do it. You don't need to force this, that it is going to take place in a day, in a week, in a couple of hours. QQQ 408.71. Very significant to see this get down below that 408.71. We're not there yet, but we're working on it. And then you come off again on the bigger, broader picture, and you still have that 403 gap to be filled way back then from back 2 weeks ago. Get the 403. Now we start looking at some stuff that could possibly start working, but we've got a lot of time and a lot of unfortunately oversold energy on those shorter time frames like I showed you on the weekend. So I wouldn't be looking for an enormous amount of movement as the course of the week goes. IWM here again, same thing. IWM, nice breakdown below 200, right bounce back up overnight here with a gap to be filled. Importantly on the IWM is we are still looking for that breakdown below 197. 197, 195, we get into that big CPI gap from the middle of the month, 196, 193, and then know that all the Uber drivers around the country that were telling everybody to go buy IWM are wrong, just like they were with crypto when it was up at 65, and the NFT $9 million each. So I bring you here to the VIX. VIX, we're 1339, and more importantly, we have a gap from the weekend. So I'm having an enormous amount of respect. The VIX is at 1339. We want that VIX above 1339 and holding above 1339 to start believing that we got something working. So here are a couple of trades that I like for this week. And with it being Tuesday, that gives you 4 days to let the trade go ahead and work. And these are credit spreads because I do not see aggressive momentum moving in any directions. NVIDIA. NVIDIA, first and foremost, not even having to think about it. This is a 15-day, 30-minute chart. 504, as you see there with your high. So I like selling calls above 505. 505 or 510, perfectly happy with it. 500, taking a little bit of a risk, but 500 has proven itself pretty damn well that when you do get above that 500 level, you are not staying above that 500 level for long. But I do like the NVIDIA for something in that plus 505 area, like a 510, 505 call spread. Go collect some credit, let it go until Friday, make your money on it. Microsoft, that's another one. Microsoft, I absolutely love this, where Microsoft is just trolling in this 377.58 area, selling 377.50 calls, buying the 380 calls. Love the idea, love the trade, and with it being up as much as it is for the course of the year, 2023, yeah, I can undoubtedly start seeing some sellers come in. I'll show you here. Apple. Apple is right now going, hey guys, you better start selling your stock. Apple making its way down here into this gap from December 5th. A little bit of a gap down overnight, getting down here to minus 5% and about to trigger this 189.99 alarm that I have that says, hey, Apple is fucked, so get in QQQ because it is too going to be fucked. And lastly, I'll look over here at Google, which I'm not absolutely in love with Google, but I do like how Google has not been able to be successful above that 140, 141 area. And because Google has those $1 strikes, I like in the beginning of the week looking around there at that 141, 142 call to sell and buy the 142, 143. Like it very much. We are going to get Tesla's delivery numbers, and funny as you see, Big White Line. That was a great song back in the 80s. The big white line has been retreated back to zoom in 1 minute, not showing up on the 1 minute, come on to a 5 minute, and not there on a 5 minute. Wow, imagine that. Right there, just down below, right around that 244, 245 area. So that 240, 250, critical break. Critical break. Don't love any kind of trade on Tesla at the moment. Like selling calls when we're up here at this 258, 294 area. A lot of you guys saw it that we did it for 2 weeks, last week, the week before. Both of them wound up full credit. Right? Don't love anything. Amazon, I almost sent out an alert on Friday that I like Amazon and getting into some puts on Amazon. And this was the problem that I had with that idea was I went over and I looked at it. Let me see if I've got a default or a clean enough. I went over here and I looked at Amazon and I'm going, God, I love this because this thing can't get past 155. My when I look over at Amazon, it was extremely oversold over here on the 4 hour. I avoided it. So anyway, guys, again, SPX, this we are testing onto at the moment, this 4765, 4763 becomes resistance. We have a decent shot that we're going to be looking at 4742, 4738, but we're still in a pretty tight zone. Selling your calls above that 4778 area, that's where your bread and butter and your money's going to be over on the credit spreads. Have a good morning. Have a great afternoon. I will see you in the chat room. And 250 days. 250 days starts today with day one.